Well, for more on this, we are joined now on set by Clive Stafford Smith, British civil rights attorney and director of human rights organisation Reprieve. Mr. Stafford Smith, very good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. I know that you've said that this is the darkest hour for journalists. Why is that?
Well, I think it is because, unfortunately, now journalists are out there a lot. Certain people in power just don't like to hear things being said about war zones that contradict the propaganda, effectively, that they're giving out. Obviously, this is the moment when journalists are most important, and yet people that we respect, such as, for example, even David Blunkett, former British cabinet minister, have said that it's okay to target journalists who we think are propagandists, and he included Al Jazeera in that. Now, that's pretty horrifying.
So why then are we seeing journalists targeted in a way that they haven't been before, even by government officials?
Well, take someone like Bilal Abdul Karim, who's an American journalist who's in Aleppo right now. He's able, because of the modern media methods, to take pictures on something as simple as an iPhone and to transmit those immediately. So you're able to get 24-hour news from these very dangerous places. And when Bilal goes and interviews someone from al-Nusra, and the US government says, oh, you know, that's propaganda for al-Nusra, he becomes a target. And I'm ashamed to say that we have targets, you know, even here in Al Jazeera, of people that we've announced we want to kill.
So is it then because of the power of social media and the ability to spread information as quickly as it can be that we are seeing journalists have more power than they did before to spread information, and then that makes them more of a target?
I think that makes them, from certain deranged views, that makes them more dangerous, because they're able to actually broadcast what's going on in a battle zone. And yes, that then makes them a target, which is really dangerous.
Whose job is it to protect journalists then when they are being targeted by some governments, at least?
Well, look, I like you. I want to help protect you all I can, all of you people at Al Jazeera, because I think you do a tremendously important job. It's all of our jobs to protect you, because free speech is desperately important. I mean, when we look at people being criticized for being against, for example, the Iraq War, we now know they were right, and that the people who wanted to go to war have just contributed to a far, far more chaotic, dangerous place. So it's in those moments that we most need you, we most need journalists, and it's why it's so important that you have this initiative to try to protect journalists in those times.
And there's also a culture, if you look at the number of journalists who have been killed in the past 10 years, 800, only 10% of cases leading to a conviction, culture of impunity then.
Oh, more than impunity. I mean, one of the projects I'm working on right now that we're going to be doing over the next several months is where there are particular people in this building that we're sitting in right now who are being targeted by the United States government to be assassinated effectively when they're doing their jobs out in the field. Now, that's hard to credit, isn't it? But at the same time, I spent many, many times, 20 times I went to Guantanamo to visit Sami al-Hajj, Al Jazeera journalist there, who had been targeted through incredible misinformation. And we see that an awful lot on the battlefield, and that's where it's particularly dangerous for people like yourself.
All right, Clive Stafford Smith, great to have you with us. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.